Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So in this video we will be discussing about deadlock, livelock and starvation. So these three things, these are the common concurrency problems in the multi-threaded applications. So first we will say what is a deadlock. This is most important and it is the one which is mostly asked in our interviews. So what is deadlock? A deadlock is something which occurs when two or more threads wait for each other forever and none of them continue. So that is what we call it as a deadlock. That means two threads are waiting for each other and forever because let's see this example. There is a thread A which locks the resource 1 and there is a thread B which locks the resource 2. But in order to complete that, thread A requires the resource 2 and thread B requires the resource 1. So what happens is thread A will be waiting for the resource 2 and thread B will be waiting for the resource 1. So they keep waiting forever and this situation we call it as deadlock. And synchronized keyword is the main culprit in order to achieve have this deadlock situation. So that you should use it very cautiously. So some real world example we will see. So imagine there is a narrow bridge and there are two people in the narrow bridge. One person is coming from left side and another person is coming from right side. And in the middle, they meet in the middle, right? So then what happens is neither of them, neither person A nor person B, they go back. They will keep waiting in the middle. So this situation we call it as deadlock. So now we will try to understand how do we avoid the deadlock. So in order to avoid the deadlock situations, you should acquire the locks in the same order. That is one, and keep synchronized blocks as small as possible because of which the deadlock situation can happen. Then use a try lock. We used right return to lock. We have this try lock feature. So use try lock and avoid unnecessary nested locks. So using these ways you can avoid the deadlock situation. Now let's try to understand what is live lock. So live lock is a situation that occurs when threads are not blocked, means they are running but they keep reacting to each other and never make progress. That means live lock means that threads are not blocked, they are running but they are not making any progress. So imagine this is some example I will be giving. Imagine there are two people, they meet in a hallway and person A turns left, now the person B also turns left, and if the person A turns right, the person B also turns right. That means they keep reacting to each other and both of them are active and neither of them moves forward. That means there is no progress. This situation we call it as live lock. And why it is different from deadlock means in deadlock the threads are waiting, the threads are blocked and they are in waiting status, but in leave lock the threads are running but they are not making any progress. So now let's understand what is starvation. So starvation is something so for example, if you try to search the meaning of starvation, what is that starvation meaning? Yeah, if you try to search the meaning of starvation, what it says, severe deficiency in caloric or nutritional intake. That means that there is some deficiency. So here also in the starvation what happens is the thread will not get a CPU time or the required resource. Why? Because other threads will keep getting the priority. For example, there are some multiple threads. If thread A is having higher priority and thread B having a lower priority, then thread A will be given the chance to execute the task. Thread B will never get a chance to execute. So this is the situation we will have this starvation. That means the thread will not get the CPU time and the resources to execute. So how do you avoid starvation is, so avoid assigning very high priorities unnecessarily. Yeah, you should not assign very high thread priorities, and use fair locking. So that is one of the feature of retract lock, and design application in such a way that all the threads eventually get a chance to execute. So these are all the ways that you can follow in order to avoid the starvation. So now let's try to visualize the differences between the deadlock, live lock and starvation. In deadlock the threads will be waiting forever. In leave lock the threads keep working but they never finish. That means they never make progress. In starvation one thread will never get the CPU time and the resources. In Deadlock, the threads are blocked. In Livelock, the threads are active. In Starvation also, the threads keep waiting for the CPU resource. And in Deadlock, if the threads are in Deadlock, then there is no progress. In Livelock, also there is no progress. The threads are active, but there is no progress. But in Starvation, the threads continue normally. Other threads continue normally, but the thread which is waiting for the resource, so that will be keep on waiting. So this is the differences between Deadlock, Livelock, and Starvation. And if you have any doubts, please type it in the comment section. And thank you so much for watching.